Looking to improve the usability of incident lists to better match the needs of remote peak hotels service desk team, Wren needs to make the following modifications to the list used in the incident workspace. Remove the location column. Add a department column and make this column groupable and sortable. Change the title of the summary column to Subject. Add a column that will include an image for Priority 1 incidents that uses a blank column header, and add a style expression for Priority 2 incidents. In ISM, a list shows multiple records in a table view. In lists, columns represent data pulled from the field of records. Lists are defined within business objects and are then viewed in the workspace of a business objects layout. To get started, Wren needs to access the correct list of the incident business object. She first accesses the List tab of the incident business object. However, there are 31 lists available. Not sure which list is the one she needs, Wren navigates to the Layouts tab and selects the relevant layout. She then accesses the Grid View link, which opens the list view of this layout. The list Wren is looking for is displayed near the top of the page. She clicks Edit to access the list editor for this list. Cracking her knuckles, Wren gets to work. First, Wren needs to remove the location column. After she scrolls over to the column in question and places her cursor near the title, a red X appears. She clicks the X and deletes the column. Next up, adding the department column. Wren opens the incident folder, then the Fields folder. After locating the Customer Department field, she clicks, drags, and drops the field in the area where the previously deleted location column was positioned. With the new department field in place, Wren makes a few adjustments to the column. First, she changes the title from Customer Department to Department. Next, she activates the Sortable and Groupable option for the column by opening the drop-down menu located next to each and selects Yes. This will allow users to both sort the incident list by department and allow users to group list items by department. Next, Wren selects the Summary column and changes its title from Summary to Subject. She also decides to rearrange some of the columns by clicking, dragging, and dropping them to match her desired placement. For her fourth item of business, Wren needs to add a column that will include an image for Priority 1 incidents that uses a blank column header. But before she can add the column, she needs to create a new field and add a business rule to that field. Saving her progress, she navigates back to the Incident Business Object, selects the Fields tab, and clicks Add New. Next, she selects the Boolean field type, names her new field Is Priority 1, and clicks Save. With her new field created, Wren now needs to add the Editing and Calculation rule. Opening the Business Rules tab, Wren selects Editing and Calculation rule and clicks Add Editing Rule. She then chooses Priority from the On Change drop-down menu and Is Priority on the Set drop-down menu. In the expression editor, she types out the expression that will activate the Is Priority field if an incident record's priority is set at 1. To learn more about business rules, check out the Business Rules course. After saving, Wren navigates back to the incident list. After opening the Incident and Fields folder, she scrolls down and locates her newly created field Is Priority 1, then clicks, drags, and drops the field into the list. Wren wants a blank header, and to narrow the width for this column, so she deletes its title and adjusts the column width to 30. Next, Wren needs to select the image to be used in this column that will highlight the fact that the incident record is Priority 1. With the column still selected, Wren scrolls down to Image option and clicks the field. A new window opens up. She then clicks Image Manager and selects an out-of-the-box image, a red light. With her new image selected, Wren writes a script using the expression editor that tells the system to display the image if the incident record is a Priority 1. Lastly, Wren wants to add a style expression to the subject column. But before that, a quick note. If desired, you can adjust the style at the level of the entire list by clicking the List Properties button and selecting the Style drop-down menu. In Wren's case, She only wants to adjust the style to the subject column using a specific expression. To do so, she selects the subject column, opens the Style drop-down menu, and selects Style Expression. Knowing that she wants the subject column to change to the blue label style if an incident record is priority 2, she types in the necessary expression and clicks Save. After saving the changes made to the incident list, Ren opens the incident workspace in the Service Desk console. Her modifications were successful. We can now see the new column on the far left that populates a red light image if the incident record is a priority 1, and the fields in the subject column use the blue label style if the incident record is priority 2. The location column has been deleted and been replaced by the department column, with the options to sort and group available.
There have been a few recent incidents where fussy, high-profile remote peak hotel customers have reported incidents and not been satisfied with the service they received. In order to help avoid this issue, management requested that incident records include an area that will allow the service desk to mark whether or not the customer is a VIP, which will in turn prompt whoever is handling the ticket to do so with extra care. Additionally and unrelatedly, management also discussed a new initiative during a company-wide meeting regarding stepping up Remote Peak Hotel's branding game wherever possible. Looking to kill two birds with one stone, Ren sets out to revise incident records to include a VIP field as well as the Remote Peak Hotel logo. To do this, Ren needs to edit a few forms used in the layout of the incident business object. A form is a graphical view of record and field information. In the example shown here, this incident record uses 3 separate forms in its layout: the incident header form, the customer and owner form, and the details form. On a form, each field is represented by a field control and often a label. Forms can also have other components, such as images, read-only text fields, attachments, and several others to enhance usability. Forms are used to collect object data for storage and retrieval for use in dashboards, layouts, and reports. Service Manager includes several default forms for each business object designed for common business needs. You can use these forms, including editing and deleting them, or create your own using the form editor. To get started with the revisions, Ren accesses the Forms tab in the Incident Business object. She decides she wants to put the image of the company logo in first and opens the Incident Header form, which directs her to the form editor. Next, Ren selects the Show Control Borders and Show Layout cells, which gives her a helpful visual, enabling her to edit more effectively. Wanting more space to work in, she also increases the default cell margins to 10 points on each side. Ren decides she wants to place the company logo to the left of the other fields in the header. She selects the cell furthest to the left, then clicks Insert Left Column. Next, she opens the folder labeled Other, then clicks and drags the special control field Picture into the new column. With the Picture control field in place, she clicks the gear graphic to access its control properties, which allows her to edit the properties of the component. She then clicks the FX function icon, opens the Image Manager, chooses the Remote Peak Hotel logo image, clicks Select, then Save. The image itself doesn't appear in the form editor, so Ren will need to check her work by viewing the form in the Service Desk console. But before that, Ren readjusts the default cell margins back to 0. In doing so, she notices that the new image and the label to its right are too close together. Clicking on the image field, she opens its cell properties, adjusts the right margin to 10 points, and clicks Save. Navigating back to the Service Desk console view of the incident header form, we see that the new logo is visible. Returning back to the Forms tab of the Incident Business object, Ren opens the Customer and Owner form. Once again, she selects the Show Control Borders and Show Layout cells and increases the default cell margins to 10 points on each side. Next, she opens the Incident folder, followed by the Fields folder, to access the VIP control field. She then clicks, drags, and drops the Is VIP field below the priority field in the form. Next, Wren wants to make some adjustments to the new field control. Selecting the Is VIP field in the form, she changes its name to VIP under Label in the control properties. Noticing that the alignment of the new control field is off, Wren also opens the Style drop-down menu and selects Right Label, mimicking the style of the other control fields in the form. Wren once again readjusts the default cell margins back to 0 and clicks Save. Checking her work in the Service Desk console, the new VIP control field has been successfully added. There's been a recent surge of director-level roles at remote peak hotels requesting access to view incident records in Service Manager. However, the Service Desk team is worried that if directors are given full access, issues may soon follow. To address both the need of the directors and the concern of the Service Desk team, Wren created a new form that uses read-only text fields. This will allow directors access to incident records, but restrict them from making edits. Next, Wren needs to create a new layout so remote peak hotel directors can access the read-only view of incident records. A layout is what you see when viewing a workspace, a collection of forms, tabs, and lists that displays a parent record and its child records. A parent record is a form, usually at the top of the work area. Child records usually appear in a series of tabs. Each tab represents a child business object, and individual records are displayed on each tab. Layouts enable you to define which business objects and fields are available to specific users. As such, layouts are designed with a role in mind and contain the lists and forms that the role can use. Opening the configuration console and selecting the incident business object, Wren clicks the Layouts tab. This is where you can view previously created layouts. Each layout is represented as a text box and contains the name of the layout and the roles that have access to it. A grayed-out text box indicates that that layout is not assigned to any roles. To get started, Wren clicks the Add New Layout link. Next, she types in the name of the new layout. Given the audience, she writes Incident Director Layout. Satisfied with the default search configuration, Wren starts to build the views for her new layout by clicking the Add New List View link. Keeping with the same naming convention, she names the list view Incident Director List View. Next, she selects the incident list from the list options and the incident.brief for the preview form, both of which are the standard defaults used in the out-of-the-box incident layout. With her list and preview form selected, Wren needs to navigate back to the main page of the layout editor. Critically, she uses the breadcrumbs on the main page and not the header. If she were to use the breadcrumbs on the header, she would lose the work she has completed thus far. Back on the main page, Wren can see that her new Incident Director List view is now active. For her next step, Wren clicks the ticker box under Initial View. The Initial View option identifies which list or form will be the default view once the incident workspace, and therefore incident layout, is opened. Now ready to begin building her form view, Wren selects the Add New Form View link. With the Form View editor open, Wren changes the display name to Incident Director Form View. Next, she selects the Incident.Header for the main form, the same standard form used in the header area of the out-of-the-box incident layout. Next, Wren builds out the rest of the Incident Director form view using child panels and child tabs. In the incident layout shown here, the Customer and Owner form uses a child panel which simply displays fields once a record is opened. Below, we see the child tabs, Details, Task, Master Incident, and Customer Incident, which must be manually selected to reveal their fields. To begin, she clicks Add Child Panel and gives the first child panel the display name, Owner, and Customer. Next, she clicks the Object field, which defines which business object's information will be displayed that has an existing relationship with Incident Business Object. In this case, Ren wants to display information from the Incident Business Object itself. So she selects Incident in the Direct Relationships dropdown and clicks Save. Next, Ren needs to select which form will be displayed for this panel. In this instance, Ren wants to use the read-only form that she created specifically for her Incident Director layout, incident.customerownership.directorview. She selects the form and clicks OK. Lastly, under Placement, Ren toggles the option from Tab to Panel. Continuing on, Ren adds another child panel to add another incident form. She names the child panel Details, selects Incident for the object, and another specially created form, incident.detailform.directorview, and leaves the placement set at Tab. With her two new director forms built into Layout, Ren now needs to go back to her list view and configure a few more options. Using the correct breadcrumbs, she navigates back to the list view page. Next, she assigns the Incident Director Form view to both the On Request to Create New Object Show and On Request to Edit Existing Object Show configuration options. By doing so, once a director tries to create a new incident record or view an existing incident record, they'll be presented with the read-only director form. At this point, Ren navigates back to the home page of the Layout Editor and clicks Save. Prior to now, had she attempted to save her progress, the system would have required her to complete filling out what she has done up to this point. However, Ren isn't quite finished yet. She still has a few tabs she wants to include in her form view. Returning back to the Form Editor, Ren adds a Task child panel. She then opens the Object field and, using Ctrl+F, searches for the Task.Assignment business object, selects it, and clicks Save. Next, Ren needs to define the list for this tab. She opens the drop-down list and selects Task.Assignment. The reason she needs to define the list for this tab and not the prior tab is because this object has a one-to-many relationship, meaning that there's the possibility of there being more than one task, and thus a list is needed to display each task. She also selects Task.Assignment in the Form column. Leaving the Placement option set to Tab, Ren selects the Show Count in Title option. Selecting this option provides a count on the tab itself. In our example here, it will show how many tasks are created for a particular incident record. A word of caution here. Though this feature is useful, having too many tabs display a count can slow the performance of the system. Next, Ren creates an Activity History tab, which will display journal data, i.e. emails and notes, associated with an incident record. After selecting the Object field, Ren selects the Use Both Direct and Roll-Up Relationships object. A direct relationship is a relationship between a parent business object and a child business object. A roll-up relationship is a relationship between a parent, child, and grandchild business objects. For example, parent business object A is related to grandchild business object C through their shared direct relationship with child business object B. First, for the direct relationship, Ren selects the journal business object associated with incidents. Next, because tasks often play an important role with incidents, Ren also wants to include the journal data from the task business object. To begin, she selects Add New Rollup Sequence. This option is used when a user wants to include data from a business object that is one or more steps removed from another business object. This is done through defining relationships between multiple objects by chaining them in a logical sequence. In Ren's case, she needs to define a relationship between three business objects: incident, task, and journal. After completing the sequence, she clicks Save, then Save again. Finishing up this Child tab, Ren selects her desired lists and forms. For her next and final Child tab, Ren wants to create an Approval tab that is hidden unless the status of an incident is set to Waiting for Third Party. After writing the Child tab's display name, selecting the Approval business object, and setting the list and form, Ren opens the Hidden Expression field and adds the expression that will hide the tab unless the status is Waiting for Third Party. After creating and saving her desired expression, Wren selects the Closable option, which will allow those using this layout to close the Approval tab. Wren saves the layout. Next, Wren wants to add and remove several buttons from the Form and List toolbars. Beginning with the Form toolbar, Wren selects Edit to open the toolbar editor. Here, Wren wants to add the Add Notes quick action to the toolbar. Scrolling through the available buttons, Wren clicks, drags, and drops the Add Notes button. Once dropped, the toolbar button editor opens. After changing the image for her new button, she clicks Save, then Save again. Next, Wren wants to remove the toolbar buttons that would allow directors to delete or create a new incident record from the list view. Using the correct breadcrumbs, she navigates back to the layout's main page and selects the Incident Director list view. After opening the toolbar editor, Wren clicks, drags, and drops the Delete and New Record menu buttons to the garbage bin, effectively deleting them from the toolbar. Lastly, she clicks Save, then Save again. With her new layout ready to go, Wren now needs to assign the layout to the Hotel Director role. Accessing the Roles and Permissions area under Users and Permissions in the Configuration console, Wren selects the Hotel Director role. Next, she selects the Top Level Tabs tab and opens the Incident tab. Wren then opens the Layout field and selects Incident Director Layout. The new layout is now applied to the Hotel Director role. Navigating back to the Layouts tab in the Incident Business object, Wren can see that the Hotel Director role has been assigned to the Incident Director layout. Further checking her work, Wren switches her role in the system to Hotel Director and opens Incident Workspace. The List Views toolbar no longer has the option to create or delete records. In the Form view, we see that the fields in the Customer and Owner panel are now read-only. There is a Details, Activity History, and Task tab, with the Task tab displaying a count, and an Add Notes toolbar button is available.